The brassicas have all germinated. Unfortunately, the foxes got into the polytunnel and tipped over the tray with the germinated cabbages in. I managed to transplant a few of the earliest of all and the greyhounds, but most of the golden acre had actually been destroyed. But I've left them a bit longer and they've germinated a bit more. Hopefully today I can actually save as many as I can, prick them out and put them into modules. They'll be quite happy growing in the greenhouse. They're quite frost tolerant, and yes, you still get frosts inside your greenhouse or polytunnel unless you've got it heated. So sometimes if it gets very cold, you'll have to put a little bit of fleece over the top of your seedlings or cloches, whatever you've got to hand, to help protect them a little bit more from the overnight frosts. Now, to help you prick out your vegetables that you have grown in trays, a pencil is a good tool. You can also get little pricking out tools as well, but anything that is thin. Now, I've actually forgot my pricking out tools, so I'm going to have to use a stick. The stick. Now, I've made holes in the module trays where I want the seedlings to go. This helps transplant the seeds a little bit better and stop so much root damage. This is the tray of cabbages. Can't believe the foxes got to these. Now, when you are pricking out, you've got to be a little bit delicate. Now, I just want the golden acre out of these because I already have some pricked out from last week, or earlier this week I think it was, and they're doing absolutely fine. So it's mainly the golden acre that I want today. All I'm going to do is just gently lift the seedling, picking up by the leaves and popping them in. Now these cabbages are actually quite damaged, so whereas I will probably re-sow certain ones again, I want to try and save as many of these, if they're viable, as possible. Now, when you're planting these little seeds, try and hold them by the leaf, and you want to get them right in to the compost tray. Now, I like to literally put them back literally as deep as up to their leaves, because at this stage they can be quite leggy. And all you want to do is push them down, push them in, and gently firm the soil around the seedling. Now, I always try and save some of these in the tray, just in case these ones actually don't work. Nine times out of 10 they do, but there's always that time when you're relying off them that they're not going to succeed. Now, the problem, because of this tray, has been so heavily disturbed, and most of it was actually on the floor, so we just popped it back in the tray. The roots are all over the place. They're all going across the top, intermingled a lot more than what they would be, but we're going to try our best to try and save some. Now, you don't want to leave it too long before you're pricking on. They'll be a bit stronger if you try and get it done as soon as possible. Seeds have a lot less shock when you do them when they're quite small. The longer you leave them, the more issues you could probably have with pricking out. But the good thing is, it's not too late to sow these cabbages. we've got plenty of time to re-sow them. And because all the seeds have been mixed up, I can't guarantee that these ones are all the golden acres. And these I'll take outside, give them a good water and give them plenty of light. This should stop the legginess. If you've grown in modules and you've multi-sown, you don't need to prick out. You can let them happily grow in that module until it's ready to be planted outside. So we're going to, because I multi-sowed the broccoli to save some space, I do need to prick out and put into new modules. Now I'm going to be very careful with this because they are quite close together in the module tray. Now you can see they're a little bit leggy. We left them in the house for a little bit too long. Really, as soon as they're germinated, you need to get them into better light. Now I was determined not to use grow lights this year. I just can't justify the amount of money to run the lights. And I'm just going to take out one broccoli from each cell. Now because these are a little bit leggy, these will be going in deeper as well. It's not the end of the world having leggy plants. A lot of the times you can save them. But obviously if they are very, very leggy, you may be better off starting again. So that has given the sprouts a little bit more room to grow. It's not something necessarily you want to grow multi-sown. So these will be watered and kept under cover. Now bear in mind at this time of year, if you're sowing now, when you plant something out outside, you may need to fleece it or have it under cover. It still gets quite cold here in the UK, and today it is barely hitting 3 degrees. It's very, very windy, which can damage a lot of seedlings and plants. So covering it with fleece really helps protect against those cold winds.